Men of the world today must protect their families, learn the truth about themselves to understand what went wrong.
That's amazing. I know we can find
A
a way.
way. I have with me Vivian Wulf. And Vivian Wulf is a film genderqueer history student from the UK, and his aim is to broadcast open and honest interviews with people who live and talk about current events. Vivian, welcome to the show.
Hello, Jesse.
Thank you.
Very nice to meet you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for coming on. I do appreciate it.
No worries.
So what is a femme gender queer?
It's a non-binary person. I believe you spoke to one on your show before, a long time ago.
On my TV show, I think.
Yeah, I think so, a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
go
ahead.
So it's just a person who is sort of between male and female.
Oh, I see. And so are you a male or a female?
Neither.
You neither male nor female?
No.
And so
More towards female.
were you born a male?
I was assigned male at birth, yeah.
And so are you taking the male body parts off, in the process of taking the male body parts off and putting on female body parts?
I wouldn't put it that way. I'm taking hormones, yeah.
And so you're taking hormones to become a female?
More feminine, yeah.
And are you going to get rid of your male parts?
Usually I would say that that's not really an appropriate question to ask somebody, but as it's you, no, I'm not planning on it.
Oh, so you're going to keep your male parts?
Yeah.
What is the purpose of taking female hormones if you're going to hold on to your male body parts?
Because it makes me look prettier.
And so it makes you look prettier how?
Well, it makes you look more feminine. Hormones soften your skin. They change where your fat is placed on your body. They do a lot of things. Yeah, they're pretty magic.
Amazing. And so
Amazing.
amazing. And so are you going to be having sex with men or women or both?
I have sex with both. Yeah.
Oh, you have sex with men and women?
Yeah.
So when you meet a woman, do you say, hey, I look like a woman, but I'm really a man, I'm about to take my clothes off, don't be shocked?
Usually by the time we get to that stage, they already know.
How do they know that you're a man? Because you're starting to take on the female form, right? But under your clothes, no one can tell. How do they know you're a man under your clothes?
Because I'm very open about my gender identity. And
Oh.
the kind of people that I would sleep with would know about the terminology like genderqueer and non-binary and so on. So they would understand what it means if I say I'm a AMAB genderqueer. They would know.
Oh, I got you now. And so you hang out in the areas where the same type of people with the same kind of beliefs hang out. And so everybody already know.
No, I hang out with all kinds of people, but I'm not going to be dating anybody who's not accepting of non-binary people.
So you don't date straight women or straight men?
Depends on your definition of straight.
Those who are not attracted to the same sex?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose. Generally, everybody I date is going to be queer in some way.
Amazing. And so are some people sensitive about this kind of stuff?
I think a lot of people are very sensitive and very confused about non-binary people and non-binary identities.
And so as a result, are they secretive about it? You know, like they go out pretending to be a woman, but really a man. And so when they meet a straight man, that man is surprised. because they were secretive about it?
I mean, I think that can happen because trans people are at a very high risk of being assaulted or being harassed in public. And so life is a lot easier if you can just be what we call cisgendered, right? Be regarded as a man or a woman and not as a trans person. You're much less likely to be harassed or attacked.
But you put your life at risk even more so when you deceive the person that you meet.
Oh, I see what you mean. No, I mean, I think generally people will tell their partners before it gets to any kind of intimate stage, for sure. Just as a safety precaution, because as you say, people can have very violent reactions to finding out that somebody that they're attracted to is transgender.
So I want to move on. I have some other questions I want to ask, but I got to ask,
Of course.
what happened in your life that made you decide to go down this road, the road that you're going down? What happened along the way?
I have no idea, Jesse. It's just how I feel. It's what makes me most happy, and it's how I present myself to the world. And if you accept me as I am, that's great. I'll be your friend. And if you don't, then we can go our separate ways.
And so, were you raised by your father and mother, or just your mother?
I was in care, which I suppose you're going to say is probably where all this comes from. But yeah, I didn't really. I do have a father and mother, but my childhood is extremely complicated.
You said you were in care?
Yeah, in the care system.
What is a care?
So children's homes and foster homes. And
Oh,
so
I
on.
see.
Yeah.
Why didn't your parents raise you?
My mother was a drug addict of some kind.
Oh.
I'm not sure. And my father was a traveller from Switzerland. He had no fixed abode, so he had nowhere to live. So I couldn't live with him either. So social services came and put me in a care home.
Amazing. I'm so sorry to hear that. And do you
That's
know
okay.
you know both of your parents? You know where they are and who they are?
No. I mean, I know their names, but I have no idea where they are.
That's amazing. And what was life for you in foster care? In this country, we call it foster care. What was life for you while growing up in that environment?
It had its ups and downs. It's not the same as living with a mum and dad, but it's like having a bigger family. You know, I did move around a lot initially, but eventually I settled down in one particular home, and then you just have a very large family. The staff are your parents, and the other children are your siblings.
Amazing. And do you believe that changing yourself like this, becoming a woman, the image of a woman, do you think that's going to make you have peace? That's going to cause you to have peace?
I think it's part of many things that I can do in my life to make myself happier. Yeah.
And so what do you do now? How do you deal with the unhappiness now? Because when you're by yourself, you're lonely, you're sad, or you feel unloved, or you feel that void inside your body still. How do you deal with that? What do you do in those moments?
I spend time with my friends. I spend time with people that I love.
And then when you leave them, because you can't be with them 24 hours a day, how do you deal with the void, the emptiness then?
Well, it carries over, you know, knowing that I have friends and people around me that I love. That comforts me when I'm on my own. But I try not to be on my own too much.
Amazing. I want to ask you, did you hear about this guy by the name of William Sponson? He is a...
Willem van Sponson, yeah.
Yeah, you
I
know
did.
about him, a 69-year-old Antifa man that died trying to attack ICE detention center here.
Yeah.
And you know about him?
I do, yeah.
Was he a man, or was he a man who was trying to be a woman as well?
It's relatively inconclusive. The people that are closest to him say that that was not the case, although there are some things in his manifesto, and on the CD he did an album, I think, that suggests that maybe there's something going on there. But I wouldn't want to sort of armchair diagnose somebody like that.
Sometimes he went by the name of Emma, right? Emma?
Yeah, I think that was a pseudonym that he used online to protect his identity and to revere a couple of other anti-fascist figures from the past.
I understand why people now. I understand why people go through things. I know why things happen. Going through what you're doing right now about trying to be like a woman, but you're really a man. Is there any part of you that says, I know this is wrong, but I can't help myself?
No, not a single bit.
So is there any part of you that says it's wrong?
No.
Is there any part of you that says it's right? It's right.
Yeah, Jesse, it just feels right. Just feels right.
Happy White History Month.
Happy Lipstick Day. Did you know it's National Lipstick Day?
See that? No, I never heard of that.
You're not gonna. I tell you.
Oh,
what,
Happy Lipstick Day.
Thank you very much. I'll celebrate White History Month with you if you celebrate Lipstick Day with me. I've got lipstick on. Do you have any lipstick in the studio?
No, you won't find lipstick around here. That's for sure. What is the connection between Antifa and the trans movement? It seems like the trans folks love Antifa. What is the connection?
Well, I think that Antifa as a movement says that they are very open, very progressive, and want to fight for the civil rights of all people. And that includes trans people who do have a tough time in America and around the world at the moment. And so they might feel attracted to the movement because of that, because they're fighting for minority rights.
Amazing. And so are they hide their faces, they dress in black. Are those people, are they trans folks? Are they like homosexuals and transgender kind of people?
I don't think they all are, no. I think probably the majority of Antifa members, if you like. It's hard to be a member when there isn't really a solid organization. But the majority of people who cover their faces and go out to counter-demonstrate are probably cis, because the majority of people in the country are, not transgendered.
Why are they so violent and evil?
Because they're dealing with violent and evil people.
Like who?
I don't think that Antifa are generally violent first. There are some people who are, and it's my personal view that those people are might be making a mistake. Running up and punching Richard Spencer while he's doing an interview. It seems to me like a bad look.
It is.
And you see this with Andy Ngo, right? Who was assaulted at Portland. He raised over $200,000. You got the president saying they want to label Antifa a terrorist group.
Absolutely.
Ted Cruz presenting the resolution in the House. All of this sort of stuff, I think, is the result of a propaganda war being waged between the far right and Antifa. And I think that people who want to engage in anti-fascist action should probably be a little bit more careful about optics. And I'm going to make a lot of them mad by saying that. But I think it's dangerous. You don't want to be labeled as a terrorist group. That can really hamper your ability to counter-demonstrate.
Absolutely. I'm glad that somebody is finally doing something about these people, because they're very rude, they're very violent, and they're very nasty people, evil people. So I'm glad the president is labeling them as a terrorist group, because they need to be dealt with.
Well, I would disagree. I think the law already covers assault. And if you punch somebody, you're already on the wrong side of the law.
Not really, because I've noticed that the decent white people on the right side, right? Whenever they hold rallies, when they hold protests, they don't hide their faces. They have permit to hold their.
They do.
They have permit to hold their rallies and whatever they're doing, protests. And these people, Antifa people, come and deliberately attack them with weapons and things like that. And the police are told to stand down, I am really happy that the president, the Great White Hope, is now labeling them terrorist group. Now they can cut the crap.
Yeah, I don't agree with that narrative at all. I think that the good people on the right are often very, very violent people.
I'm
The
not
Proud
seeing them be
Boys,
violent at all. If they are
well, you're just
violent,
not
why
looking in the right place then.
are they? If these people, the Antifa people, if they were decent, honest people who meant well and were trying to do the right thing, would they still be hiding their faces?
Yes, I
Why would
think
they
so.
hide their faces if they're decent people?
Well, I mean, let's put it this way. You know who Batman is? Yeah?
Batman?
Yeah, you know Batman.
Like the Batman? Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, Cape Crusader.
Right.
Superhero.
But-
Yeah, right.
right.
Okay. So he hides his face when he's out fighting crime because he wants to protect his friends and his family and himself from retribution when he's not wearing his costume. And fascist retribution can be extremely violent. There was a woman in Portland who had her neck broken by a Patriot Prayer member. There were two chaps who were stabbed on a train in Portland by a Patriot Prayer member. And so the people they're going out to counter-demonstrate, if they're identified by them, these people show up at their houses and intimidate them, like happened to Gwen Snyder recently, who received a visit from the Proud Boys in the middle of the night.
Well, you know, these people, Antifa is bringing this up on themselves because they're so evil until they're causing other people to become angry and they're starting to fight back. And as far as the Proud Boys, I know that they are not a violent group. I'm aware of them. They're not a violent
You think they're not a violent group?
No, they're not.
Are you aware that in order to be accepted as like the highest level of Proud Boy, right? You are encouraged. You have to get into a fight with somebody and get hurt or hurt them.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Yeah, that is on their website. You can go and look it up. I mean, we could argue back and forth.
Right.
Forever.
I don't want to waste time doing that. But who would you trust the most? Oh, as far as Batman, there is no comparison between Batman and Antifa. Antifa, now that you have told me that they have transgender and homosexuals and all that, it kind of explained the violence, but that's why they do it, because those people have no soul.
I see. Do I have no soul?
Well, I don't know you. I'm just talking about these Antifa people at this point.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Proud Boys is not a comparison to Antifa either. I noticed that the whites on the right, they're more honest and open. You know who they are because they believe that they're fighting for what is right, so they have nothing to hide. Are you surprised that in places like Portland, I believe, and other cities around this country, USA, that these Antifa are protected by the police and by the mayors of the cities and all that? The cops have a no hands-off kind of approach. Are you surprised that they're allowed to get away with so much violence?
So again, I don't think that's the case. If you look at Portland specifically, The Guardian wrote a piece back in February talking about how the Portland chief of police, I believe, was in contact with Patriot Prayer and passing them information about Antifa movements and what else was he doing? Yeah, he was talking to Joey Gibson, who is the leader of Patriot Prayer, and giving him advice on how not to get arrested and advice on where Antifa would be. And if you look at the difference in arrests and so on, there's some very good videos out there detailing how it tends to be Antifa members who get arrested when these things go off. It's only when somebody from the far right actually commits like a murder or a really severe beating that they get arrested.
Did over the UK there where you are now, do they carry out the same type of violence over there as they do here in this country?
So anti-fascist violence and far-right violence are both much lower in the United Kingdom than they are in the United States.
Why
it's
is
really
that?
kicking off in the US.
Why is that?
Well, I think partially we don't have Donald Trump in office.
The Great White Hope. See, that's the problem. You guys need a real man over there.
Well, I think that the election of Donald Trump helped validate a lot of far-right individuals and caused an upswelling of white supremacist rhetoric, which anti-fascists seek to counter.
No, what the president is doing is he's encouraging good American citizens of all races, but especially the whites, to stand up for what is right. Don't be afraid to speak up. If they call you racist, fine. Don't give in to that. You stand up and speak up. And so I do see and hear more white Americans speaking up now that they have an example of how to do it. And that's what America needs. Because, and I know you agree with this, if we lose white people in America and the colors take over, it's over for America.
I mean, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think there's a place for people of all races in America.
Right, but it's in Africa and not here.
I would be very sad if something happened and all the white people died. That would be terrible. But I don't think that that's in any danger of happening.
No, white people are not having babies. They are having abortions. And when they do have a baby,
replacement rhetoric. Right?
Yeah, when they do have a baby, they have one or two. We need a whole bunch of white babies. Are you white?
Well,
are you white?
Am I white? Yeah, I'm white.
And so, are you going to marry a white man and have white babies?
I mean, who knows? Depends who I end up falling in love with. My last partner was a white woman.
A white woman?
Yeah.
Amazing. So what was your name before Vivian? What was your boy name?
Oh, my name's always been Vivian.
Even when you were first born, they call you Vivian?
Yeah, it's on my birth certificate and everything.
Really?
Can't prove any different.
And do you know why your parents named you Vivian? They saw that you were a boy. Why did they give you a girl name?
Who knows? I don't know my parents.
Oh, yeah. That's unfortunate.
Yes.
I'm running out of time, but I got a lot of people chatting with me. I got phone messages for you. So I want to rush through it. Live chat want to know, did the hormone treatment change Vivian's voice to female, or is that no
is the answer. Hormones don't make a person who's assigned male at birth. It doesn't make their voice higher, but they will make a person who is assigned female at birth. It will make their voice lower if they're going from female to male. It just doesn't work the other way around, unfortunately. But thank you for saying I have a feminine voice. That's very, complimentary.
Well, you have like a gay voice.
Gay lisp.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Do you think your voice is...
I'll live with it.
Do you think you sound like a woman or you sound gay?
Oh, well...
No, which one do you think?
Either. I don't mind.
Oh, you don't mind?
No, not at all. This is just me. It's how I sound.
Okay, another question here for you. Hold on. I'm trying to work this computer and... Oh, let's see. I'm black and slow, and I'm trying to work my computer here. So...
It's a hard life.
Another person says, I noticed you're wearing a hammer and sickle.
No.
Necklace.
This is a little alien from Aliens. You know the horror movies? Yeah, no hammers and sickles.
Oh,
I'm not a communist. I am somewhere around socialism.
Are you?
Probably market socialist, but I'm not a full-blown authoritarian communist.
Do you have a job?
I am a history student. That's what I do.
So, last question for you I have here.
Okay.
Can the interviewee be honest if their body was a man at birth. Uh, this is too long. I can't read all this. I don't know. I have to read that later.
That's okay.
So, what is your impression of the Great White Hope?
I think that he is an awful man who can't stop telling lies, who is incredibly racist and is a detriment to your country, and especially to the black people, immigrants, trans people, and gay people who live there.
Why do you, but, so if all that was true, and I find none of it to be true,
Okay.
why is America getting better rather than getting worse? Under the fallen Messiah, Barack Obama, who loved homosexuals for whatever reason, he loved homosexuals.
How could you love homosexuals?
Obama loved, I mean, he really pushed that, really pushed it. And America got worse rather than getting better. The president loved all people and the country is getting better. Why can't you see that?
I mean, I just disagree with you entirely. I don't think that's the case at all. And I think you look a bit ridiculous when you say it.
When you say the country is getting better?
I would say that there are certain things in the country that are getting better. I think economically, there are, for people who are middle and upper class, things are probably getting better. But I think for the majority of people, things are getting worse, both culturally and fiscally.
No, it's getting better. I noticed that. I noticed.
If you say so.
I noticed that people on the side of evil, they always include black people in their movement. Whenever they want to get a personal evil agenda across, they always include the black people. Why is that?
Well, because I don't think that they're on the side of evil, because they want to make life better for everybody.
But the blacks don't want to be included with abortion and transgender and homosexuality and Antifa and all that. Blacks don't want to be a part of that. Why do they pull the blacks in? Is that to use them to get their agenda across?
I think it's because, like you, Jesse, we love all people. And just because they don't agree with us on some things, right? I think overwhelmingly in the black community, they're probably not accepting of gay people. But that doesn't matter because they deserve the same sort of human rights and the same opportunities as everybody else in America, regardless of their beliefs.
Do the people on the side of evil think that the black people want to be a part of their agenda? Or are they just using them, pretending to love the blacks? Because I noticed that Antifa, abortion people, Planned Parenthood, none of those people love black people, but they use black people. Are the blacks aware that they are being used?
Well, I don't think they are being used. I think we are doing our best to try and lift them up and give them a better life.
No, they're already in hell. They need lift up. They don't need to be pulled deeper into hell. Do you love the Great White Hope?
I do not. I think he's an awful man.
You don't love the president. Do you love men?
Do I love men?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I love all men. I love all women, and I love everybody who identifies as anything else.
Well, how can you not love the president if you love all men?
Well, I love Donald Trump in the same way that I have a general love for all of humanity. And though he is a despicable, monstrous, quasi-fascist, I still have respect for him as a human being and believe that his rights should also be upheld.
Is Antifa against white men?
No, not at all.
But why do they always
includes a lot of white men?
Why are they always fighting white men? I never see them fighting black men.
Because it's difficult to find a lot of black men in white supremacist and Nazi circles, and those are the people that anti-fascists fight.
Do you know I have never met a white supremacist?
Have you not?
No.
Have you tried looking in a mirror?
And I grew up on a plantation.
I see. Well, I mean, were your grandparents enslaved?
No.
Didn't you grow up under Jim Crow?
Yes, but I never met a white. I never met a white supremacist.
I see. Well, I think it depends what you mean by white supremacist. I would say that the people who agreed with Jim Crow would be white supremacists.
No, that's a made-up word. It's a lie made up by the children of the lie.
Oh, I see. My bad.
Why
I'll
do
do
you
more
think?
research into the subject.
Why do you think? And I appreciate you coming on. Why do you think so many people like you are afraid to come on to my show?
I don't know, Jesse. You do seem to be doing the rounds on like lefties at the moment. Maybe you're just searching for another way. Maybe you're trying to work out in your own mind if the things that you believe are in fact true.
When you say I should look in the mirror for white supremacists, what do you mean by that? I say I've never met a white supremacist, and you say I should look in the mirror. What do you mean?
I mean, when you push narratives about the Great Replacement, you know, the outbreeding of white people, when you say things like we need more white babies, when you put black people down and say that they're, you know, all horrible people living in sin and they need to, you know, I think you push a white supremacist narrative.
But don't you think those things that I say are true?
I do not.
Do you know right? Do you know right from wrong?
Well, I mean, morals are a very complicated discussion. I don't think we could have that in the time we have left.
I just want to know: do you know right from wrong?
I think I do.
You do. So what I say about black people and white people and others, am I right?
No, I don't think so.
Amazing.
Amazing.
So I realized from talking to you why the transgender and the homosexuals hate the president, because he's a straight, white, conservative Christian man of power, and you guys can't handle him, and so you got to hate him.
I don't think Donald Trump is remotely Christian. I think he pretends to be on occasion in order to appeal to people like yourself. But nobody hates him because he's straight and white and male. We don't like the president because of the things he says and does.
Are you a Christian?
Am I a Christian? No, I'm not.
Are you atheist?
Yes. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, no wonder. No wonder.
Outstanding.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Do you want to give out your website or anything?
Sure, yeah. You can find me on YouTube at MX Vivian Wulf. I'm sure your producer can put that on the bottom of the screen or whatever.
Right.
And that's probably about it. All the links you need for my other stuff you can find from my YouTube channel, no problems. But it's been an absolute pleasure. Would you do me a favor, as I've been such a good sport?
Yes.
Would you sing your theme tune with me? Would you do that?
Stand up.
Yeah, stand up.
Men of the world today must protect their families, learn the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong.
That's amazing. I know we can find
A way. I know we can find
a way. I know we can find
a way. You like that song?
Hey!
Amazing. Amazing.
Thank you so much, Jesse.
Have you met Joel? Have you met Joel?
Have I met who?
Joel.
Joel. No, I don't know him.
He's my audio engineer, and he.
Did I just kill him? I'm sorry.
Can you put your face on the thing? She can't see it. Oh, she can't. Oh, you can't see Joel.
I talked to him when we were connected.
He black.
Oh no.
He black, and he's from Arkansas.
Oh dear.
So, if you ever want private counseling, call my office. I'll do private counseling with you. I'll show you how to overcome that.
If I ever completely lose my fucking mind, my mind, I will. I might end up doing that. Who knows?
Do you believe it's possible to overcome your condition?
I don't think it's necessary.
How about possible?
Does it matter?
How about possible?
Maybe.
How about possible? So you believe that it is possible that you can overcome if you wanted to?
I wouldn't even call it overcoming. I mean, I could stop being queer,
Right.
but that would not be me anymore, and that's not a thing I have any desire.
But you would become a man. It's better to be a man than to be a queer.
I mean,
Since you were born a man, you know, it was best to be a
I'm not gonna
man.
lie. I mean, you're a man, right?
Right, and I have perfect peace. So if you became a man, you would have perfect peace.
I mean, maybe, but I would much rather hang out with 100 queer people than I would with one man like you, unfortunately.
Amazing.
I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy with who I am and who I hang out with.
Well, if you ever decide to be honest with yourself and you need counseling, set up an appointment, all right?
Well, thank you for the offer.
You're
and,
welcome.
You know, I do work with Caleb Kane, who you had on your show.
Oh, yes.
And you remember Faraday Speaks, Leaving the Alt-Right, etc.
Right.
So likewise, if you ever start questioning your beliefs about white supremacy and so on, and you realize, you know, the things that you're saying are hateful and terrible, you can always contact Caleb Kane, and we will do our absolute best to help facilitate you leaving the movement.
Is Caleb Kane a transgender too?
No, Caleb Kane is a straight white male.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Still
good.
love him.
Whew. Good. Did you enjoy this interview?
I did. It was absolutely amazing.
Amazing.
Thank you so much for having me on.
And
Thank you for singing too. That lit up my world.
I appreciate your honesty.
No worries.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good day, Jesse.
All right,
See
you too.
around.
All right now. Amazing. All the way from the UK, folks. That was Vivian Wulf. Amazing.